Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, and everyone's favorite Trojan right now, Kedon Slovis, the freshman quarterback, joins us now. Only threw for 515 yards on Saturday. Kedon set school records in single-game yardage, 400-yard games in a season, pass yards in a season by a freshman, and pass completions in a season by a freshman. Do you have a favorite record? It's like choosing a favorite child. Which one do you take the most pride in?
No, I definitely don't have a favorite. Just honored to be, have any record of any sort, and credit to my teammates for helping me get there.
When you're throwing it around out there and it's it feels like it's coming off easy and you're in the zone like that, do you know what's happening? Do you know the yards? It's on the board. I guess you can see it, but do you feel like I could do anything right now? I'm just clicking on all cylinders.
Somewhat. You kind of have to understand where you're at in the game. Sometimes you're not feeling like that, and you kind of have to get to that point. I think, for example, like the first half of Cal at halftime, I didn't feel like I was really in that zone, but I tried to get there, and I think in the second half we did.
If making easier throws, does that help get you in the zone, or can it be a big toss that kind of gets you sparked to get going?
I think it's getting in rhythm, really, whether it's a big throw or a small one, but I think putting together a few really helps mostly.
Yeah, we were just talking about Graham Harrell and his effect on this offense. What's your relationship like with Graham? Seems like a unique character. They put out that wrestling video. It seems like he's trying to get you into that if you haven't already been. What's your in-game relationship with him, and then sort of in the meeting rooms and the day-to-day?
Yeah, during the games he doesn't talk to me that much. She's up in the booth, so unless he really wants to get in my head or chew me out a bit, that's really the only time I talk to him. But off the field, he's great. I'm just so thankful to have such a great relationship with someone that I didn't know going into before I came here. So for someone that didn't recruit me, for someone that I didn't know beforehand, to have that good of a relationship with someone that just happened to be hired when I was there is really special.
Yeah, going back in this thing, in time to the season, I thought that Notre Dame game, that second half, where you kind of, you took some hits, you were out there throwing your body around, trying to make plays, keeping the Trojans in the game, felt like the turning point maybe for you in this year and the confidence you've been. It looked like the game slowed down after that. Is that your sense of how the season kind of broke down, or was it a different moment?
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think at that point, obviously I was comfortable with the offense and everything, but I think at that point I got comfortable moving the pocket and just trusting my instinct and just feeling what was around me instead of thinking too much.
Michael Pittman Jr. gets named a Biletnikoff finalist today, and Coach Held was talking about how it is kind of a team award. How much pride does the offense take in Mike getting that kind of recognition?
A lot. Mike's a special player, and I'm gonna miss having him after this year. But I'm so happy that he gets recognition. He deserves it. He's such a great teammate, such a great leader, and alongside that, just have all our receivers have the numbers that they have. I think that's really special.
Yeah, the numbers are incredible, but the personalities are interesting. And you were an 18-year-old or whatever you were as coming in as a true freshman, and there's so much to learn. But how hard was it, or easy was it to take command of this offense when you have veteran receivers who they want the ball, they want numbers, they're selfless guys, but they're personalities?
Yeah. They're all different in their own way, but I think the most special thing about this receiving corps and this group as a whole, receivers usually think they're all glam and all want the ball. It's all about me, but, they are really the most selfless guys that have been around since I played football. So, they made it really easy for me. I know you think that, all three guys want the ball and are clamoring for it on the sidelines, and at times they do want the ball, but, they're not – they'll go block as hard as they can for the guy next to them, and that's what makes them special.
Talk about that Drake London throw. We were going crazy in the booth, Jordan, on the sideline about that throw.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one over the top. That you dropped that one in the bucket. Those are so pretty when you watch them go down. You take a big shot on that play. How did it change the momentum of that game when you were able to toss it over the defender like that and for Drake to make that play?
Yeah, obviously it was a big point for us. I think we were down 7-3 at that point. So we felt like we should have gotten points after the first drive, and to come back, we really needed a touchdown there. So to get into scoring range was big for us. But, man coverage, I just let Drake go to work and put it up there for him.
Your receivers coach, Kerry Colburn, has he ever shown you footage of his playing days?
He hasn't, but I've seen plenty. He was a stud back in his day.
He was.
Look on Instagram. He's all over Instagram.
And there was a throw in the Rose Bowl, liner to Kerry Colbert, that was right over the top like that. It was absolutely perfect throw. That's what Sean was talking about, that we were talking about during the game. The stats will say you haven't. Have you ever played a better game than you did on Saturday? Are we making too much of the stats in your mind? You like, actually there was some stuff I left out there, or do you feel like that was as good as you've done to this point in your career?
Obviously I made a few mistakes and some plays I could have played better, but I was kind of joking with someone the other day. I think all my games here were the best ever in my career because, in high school I never threw for over 70% completion percentage, and I came here and had a few over 80. So this offense and the team around me is really special, and, obviously it makes my job a lot easier.
Let's talk about those 4 receivers a little bit. You guys, what's your first take when you first think of Michael Pittman Jr.? What's your first thing you think about when you think about him?
Just a competitor.
Now let's go Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, they're both very
competitive.
Yeah.
Don't give me competitive for Vaughn.
No,
what do you got for Vaughn?
I'd say TV's more finesse. That's the word.
Oh,
He's
smooth. I like him as smooth too. And then young Drake London. What do you
Drake.
say?
I know it's not one word, but he's just all inclusive. He's got the whole package. He's big and strong, kind of like Pitt, but he also got the moves up in the slot area like Amon-Ra.
He had some shakes last week too down the field.
Yeah, it seems to be showing off something new every week. You mentioned your high school experience. It just brings up an interesting thought. We see so many of these quarterbacks that they come in, they basically haven't lost a game in high school. They played with nothing but all-star talent around them. Do you think it helped you that maybe you didn't play at a school where you're beating everybody 50-0? I don't know. Maybe you guys were winning every game 50-0, but it's not. It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, no, we definitely weren't. I kind of talked about that the whole time when I was in high school. Everyone around me kind of said it's just going to make you better. It's going to make you a better person. Coach Warner was one of the biggest people who said that. He said, you don't have the players around you. We're going to put a lot more on you, but that's going to make you better in the long run. And I think he was right because my margin for error was much smaller back then, but now when I have these playmakers around me, it makes my job so much easier.
I don't know if this means anything to you, but on Graham Harrell's Twitter, he had wrote, "Reads are sacred," and he had your stats. What does that mean to you? I wanted to ask you what that means because it was a little cryptic to me. I didn't know what he was talking about. But what does "reads are sacred" mean to you?
No, yeah, that's like the number one rule in Graham's offense is reads are sacred. And it's easy to say and easy to say, yeah, I got it, but I think that's the biggest learning lesson I've taken away from this year is, go through your reads. In this offense and the air raid, you go through your reads and things will work out. And on Saturday, I think for the most part, I went through my reads, and that's the outcome we had.
So that's why he just saw the stats. He said reads are sacred.
Every game, yeah, him and JDB go up to me and say, "Hey, reads are sacred."
I would say it worked out on Saturday. It's worked out to a great freshman campaign from Kedon Slovis. Should be a freshman All-American when it's all said and